Good evening, people. It's John from Veganism KILLS. A lot of you's been coming to my channel because of the drama I've been having with Mr. Ryan Lum, aka Happy Healthy Vegan. Somehow he thinks he supposedly knows more than everybody else, including the scientific studies that I put up there, in which he condemned because they were from 1939. You automatically get to, science has an expiration date on it, like a loaf of bread. Well, anyway, Ryan Lum, he lives in, let's see, I can tell you where he lives. In Long Beach, District 2 in California. Now, Ryan's been running for a seat on the city council since 2008. And he's had no success because, again, to get votes, it reflects on what the community thinks of you before they vote for you. And it'll show in your election results. Now, Ryan is running underneath the Humane Party. And I had a little laugh because the Humane Party, America's Party of Science and Ethics, Ryan, who dismisses any science that goes contrary to his vegan ideology, will say that the study, which he knows nothing about oxalates or anything, he has no credentials, he'll tell you that, but he's running under the Party of Science. He's not a doctor. He never worked in the lab. He's a musician. And he's the candidate for the Humane Party, America's Party of Science and Ethics. Wouldn't it be more appropriate if they actually had, like, a doctor or a real scientist? Not a rabid vegan who dismisses studies because they don't follow his ideology or tarnish it and show it what it is. So that's a laugh right there. You see, Ryan, when you said stuff about me, about Dun & Bradstreet, and you actually thought it was a street, and you claimed you know about science, you would have known that there's a lot of science involved in finance, graphs, all kinds of market signals that RSI, you stoke RSI. There's a lot of stuff to learn when you're learning to read statistics on algorithms. It's part of science. You claim that you're running for a party of science, and you don't know any fucking science, Ryan. As a matter of fact, you're quite dismissive of it because of its age. Like again, you treated it like as a loaf of a moldy bread. You just threw it away. Now, again, if you're going to run for election in your own community, the number of votes are going to reflect if the community trusts or thinks you're competent enough to hold a seat on the city council. All right? I myself have been asked to work for the TLC commissioner directly. It's not a political post. She has a political post. She requested after my resume was submitted that I work for her. But the pandemic stopped that. But the process is starting again. So I will be working for her because they're expanding the TLC 3 times its size. They're going to have a larger budget, and they need somebody with financial experience to watch it all. That'll be my job. A high-paying job that I applied for New York City. Now, you who haven't held any post anywhere of any relevant importance in business, the guy who thinks Dun & Bradstreet is the bus stop rather than the basic Bible of who's who in business, which you don't apply yourself. Dun & Bradstreet actually puts out, we want to put you on Dun & Bradstreet. We heard good things about you. I apply. I accepted their application. I filled it out. They put me right up on there. They asked me. Matter of fact, I didn't actually have to fill out an application. But most people do get there. I didn't have to. They had all my details already. Now again, this is a guy who says he has no credentials. He has no footing in science. Brian, actually, if I seen him, I would. If he put on a robe, he'd actually be able to pass for a doctor. You know, if he put on the schmuck, if Dr. Greger and Ryan were in the room, and they said I had to choose a doctor, I choose Ryan just based on appearance because he looks like he's more intelligent. But the problem is, I'd be wrong. Again, the Humane Party, America's Party of Science, whose candidate knows nothing about science and denies science. He's a science denier. He's an oxalate denier. That's the new phrase we got for him. And again, everything in the community he lives in, Long Beach City Council, District 2, it's his own community. The number of votes he gets is what his own community thinks of him. It reflects in the vote count. If they think you're incompetent, you're not going to get any votes. If they think you don't have any relevant skills for the job, you're not going to get any votes. If you're not on the same platform with the vast majority of the voters, and you're a little niche someplace claiming that you know science, you're with the party of science, and you know no science, I'm sorry, you're not going to get no votes. So let's go and see what happened to Ryan at his election. Let's just see. And he shave. Ryan couldn't even muster up 300 votes out of 22,000 votes. That's what his community thinks about him and his knowledge of science and business. You know that anybody would have heard that remark out of his mouth that runs a business in Long Beach, and he didn't know what Dun and Bradstreet was, he would have lost another 100 fucking votes. We live in a capitalist country, and you don't know what Dun and Bradstreet is. What do? Where's Dun and Bradstreet? Which bus do I take to Dun and Bradstreet? You idiot. It's a database of successful companies. And they're usually referred out. It's a small niche of people. And I'm in that niche. And I'm proud that I'm in it. And on that, I'm out of here. Woo! These people are funny. You guys don't know anything about science. You're a bad, bad man. Ryan is a fraud because I caught him lying. He told people 300 milligrams of oxalates is good. I said I went to a doctor and asked him. They said, no, Ryan's not telling the truth. Who is Ryan? And apparently, that's what the people in his community think. Who the fuck is Ryan? And on that note, I'm out of here.